Want to start work as a social media manager but can't seem to get your name out there? Today's video will change that. Let's talk about how to get hired as a social media manager. I started my business as a dental hygienist doing social media on the side, and today have built my business to a multi-7-figure business. So I want to share with you some of the tips and strategies that I've used to get my name out there and build my business as starting as a social media manager. Then I also want to give you some advice that no one wants to tell you as a social media manager, but it's the truth, and I think it's going to set you up for a long time of lasting success. So be sure to stay tuned for that. So as I mentioned, I started my business as a social media manager. I was actually in a 9-to-5. I was a dental hygienist and I was taking on these social media clients on the side. The first client that I had was our dental office. I was, between patients doing their Facebook page and their Instagram and their Twitter. And I was basically just creating content about the people that worked at the dental office. I was sharing stories about the other hygienists or the assistant or our office goldfish, and it started to create some traction. And then their IT guy was like, hey, you're good at this. Can I refer you to some of my other clients? Well, next thing I know, he's referred me to all of his clients, and I suddenly had a business. I didn't even realize that you could make good money being a social media manager. It was just something that I knew how to navigate my way around these social media platforms, and I knew how to create content. But basically, I was just creating content that I enjoyed. I noticed that a lot of these other dental offices or other businesses, their social media accounts, a lot of them were just sharing these like fun facts and tidbits and then, hey, come in for this sale. But instead, I was creating more stories about the people that worked there because I thought that's what was entertaining to me. That was what was interesting for me to consume. And I found just by creating content like that by accident that it got more response and more engagement than just the fun facts and the tips. There's nothing wrong with the fun facts and the tips, but that's what actually created the relationships with the audience. That's what brought people into the office or got people on the phone wanting to utilize the business or the service because they felt like they knew the people behind the business, not just what they could do. Even think about that for you. When you're choosing a service provider or a program or a product that you're going to buy, you probably want to feel like you trust the person providing the product or service. So that's exactly what I created as a social media manager working for these businesses of all industries. But as I started to get more social media marketing clients, I knew that I needed to improve my skills and be able to improve who I was as a social media manager so that I could keep growing in this business and eventually leave my 9-to-5, which I left working as a dental hygienist in 2017 and have been growing my business ever since. I actually reached my first $1 million in revenue in 2019 and my second million in 2020. So just to paint that picture for you, that if you are willing to follow the steps and get your name out there and grow your skills and grow in who you are as a leader, you can actually have an incredible business where you're able to reach people all over the world and have no ceiling on your income too. So one of the things that I did is I started to join these Facebook groups and get into these communities with other social media managers, people that were also building their businesses from home or on the side in a 9-to-5 and wanted to learn what are they doing for their services? How are they pricing themselves? What platforms are they using? What tools are they using? And I signed up for email newsletters and I signed up for courses and memberships where I could grow my skills and learn about what other social media managers were executing in their businesses to grow and succeed. By having that community and by continuously increasing my skills, that also put me in a position where I could be more in demand as a social media marketer because I was knowledgeable, I was up to date on the trends. And even if I didn't have the answer that I was looking for right away, I knew exactly where I could go. That I had other social media managers that were likely facing the same questions or the same problems that we could rely on and work with each other. The other thing that helped me to get more clients and become more hireable as a social media manager, in addition to being in the know, was also knowing what to look for in terms of success on social media. Instead of just, how many likes, how many followers do they have on their profiles, is what engagement metrics, what are the measurements for success, how do I get them an ROI? So looking at, the relationships that we're building and how that translated into more people coming into their office or more people purchasing their products and services, I also wanted to look at what are maybe some other avenues of advertising. That's where I started to learn things like Facebook ads and sales funnels. And it's not to say that you need to learn all those things, although having a basic knowledge of that will be really beneficial for you. But at least having the knowledge where I could maybe refer to other social media managers or other specialists so that we could collaborate and bring that expertise to the table, I could provide more value for my clients and get them more results. By getting my clients more results, I started to create this portfolio of all all the social proof and the stats and the metrics that I was able to achieve for my clients, being able to show screenshots of, look how much ROI we got on this recent Facebook ad strategy, or look at these amazing comments that translated into sales. Like, if I could go to a potential client and say, here's what I've done for previous clients that I know that I could get the same or better results for you, that removes so much barrier and so many objections to, is this someone that I should work with? So the more results and more experience I was able to create and then compile to put into a portfolio, it was almost like I was able to give them a piece of proof or paint the picture of what it would be like to work with me. Now, here's the other thing that I don't think people are talking about enough. No one wants to tell you this, but it is so important for you to build up your own social media presence as well. That's going to be one of the first things that people are looking for when they're looking to decide if they should hire you. They're going to look at your social media platforms. And if yours are a ghost town, they might have a little bit of skepticism. Now, of course, we want to say that we're focusing on our clients' social media, but you also have to be putting your best foot forward too. And if you need more support in scaling and in building your own social media platforms, maybe you can trade with another social media manager to be able to help each other out in building up both of your online presence. I think collaboration with other social media managers was one of the things that helped me to be able to grow my business too, because in having those relationships, maybe you have an expertise in one area and they have these advanced skills in another, and you can collaborate to be able to maybe work on clients together or be able to help each other out in your own businesses. I know that having that community also helped when it came to referrals. If I had a client that needed help with sales funnels or needed help with Facebook ads, and that wasn't something that was my specific area of expertise, I could bring them into the project and we could work on it together while splitting the profit. Now, before I tell you some of my best tips for finding more clients, make sure that you hit that subscribe button. I'm putting out videos every single week about how to grow your business online and even scale it to 6 or 7 figures. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. So I'm going to share with you some of my favorite ways to get hired as a social media manager. For me at the beginning, a lot of it was based on referral. And referrals are so great. They're one of the best sources of getting clients. If someone can vouch for you and say they're great, hire them, it creates that trust and eliminates a lot of the barriers or objections. But when you have other sources of finding clients, you can find clients on demand if you use some of these strategies. When I first was starting as a social media manager, I would take on some project work or I would take on some internships to get experience. It was really important to me at the beginning that I wanted to learn a little bit of everything. I was really good. I knew my strengths in creating content and storytelling online, and I wanted to know more about Facebook ads. I wanted to know more about funnels. So what I did was I might work for another social media manager and watch them and intern with them and be able to learn from them. I might go to my existing clients or someone that I knew was interested in hiring someone like me, and I would say, hey, I really want to test out building out a sales funnel or running these Facebook ads. Would you be interested in me doing this for you just at cost, just cover my costs so that I can test out some of these strategies that I'm learning on your account? You and I will both benefit because you'll be getting this service at a very discounted rate, and I'll have the opportunity to learn. That was a really great way and totally seemed like a win-win for my clients and for people that were looking for help but maybe couldn't afford the full price service. It was a great opportunity for us both to learn and benefit. Another thing that I used to do is I would reach out to businesses that I could see they needed a better social media strategy. One of the things that I would do is I would take a look, even in my local city to see who are the people that are utilizing billboards, who are the people that are paying for ad space in magazines. Have you ever seen at your grocery store, the receipts at my grocery store have advertisements on the back? Now, I don't know about you, but I don't really spend too much time looking at my receipt, and I certainly don't pay attention to the ads on the back of that receipt paper. So I reached out to them saying, hey, I noticed that you're doing this. Would you be interested in learning about a strategy and even having me implement it for you where I can help you to grow and scale your business and get you more clients? And that was a great way to reach out to them by saying, this might be working, but I have this other thing that's worked really well. And here's a portfolio of similar clients who I've been able to get results for, and being able to just promote it to them right there and then. That's a great way for you to be able to reach out to people by auditing what they're doing and showing them a strategy that could work even better and offering to be the one to help them with it. And the next biggest thing that grew my business more than anything was networking with influencers and other entrepreneurs that I admire. I went to lots of events, Funnel Hacking Live, my favorite one. Absolutely go check that event out. It happens every year, and it's run by the software ClickFunnels. It's an incredible event. I got to speak at it last year, which was a dream come true. But being in those communities, being able to work with other entrepreneurs and being able to bring your skill sets to the table, see what they're working on, and maybe offer to see how you might be able to get involved involved and advance their strategy and bring them more of an ROI, that's a great way to just, tap into your community that you have at your fingertips, or tap into the community just to be a referral source. Hey, if you know of anybody that might be interested in XYZ, whatever your expertise is, that can create a huge referral source. I can think of tons of people that I am constantly referring to. If one of my clients needs a sales funnel, I know exactly who I'm referring. If one of my clients needs YouTube ads, I know exactly who I'm sending to them. So if you can become a specialist in whatever it is that you do in your social media niche, whether it's working for a specific type of client to create social media content for, or whether it's a specific strategy that you use, if you can become a go-to, that's going to increase your likeliness and your opportunities to be referred and to be able to be seen as top of mind and as the go-to expert. If you want to learn more about creating content that converts into cash flow, this is going to be really important for yourself, and if you want to implement some of these strategies for your clients, that's going to make you even more hireable if you can help your clients get a bigger ROI. You can click the link below for access for that free training, and I'll see you in the next video.